Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. The One Celtic Fans View, where every Celtic supporter gets his chance on the lives to get their point across via the chat on the channel. On Tuesday, Brendan Rodgers decided, we all know in Scotland that it's the print media. The print media, not so much the television, but the print media definitely has what they would call an agenda, and they try to write a story before it happens in Scottish football. They try to lay out the way that they think that what's going on in the mindset of Celtic and what's going on in the mindset of players, what's going on in the mindset of Brendan Rodgers, and how Ange Ball is completely different from Brendan Ball. With Brendan Rodgers took umbrance to this, and on Tuesday he decided to keep the print media, the Scottish mainstream media, behind, like bad boys in a class, bad girls. Should I say good girls or good boys? Brendan Rodgers decided to keep them back for about an hour and a half, and he rolled out a big television to to enlighten the media that was sitting around. Brendan Rodgers took us aside, said Keith Jackson. Now I'm going to go through this story, and I know it's from a rag that we don't like, but there are viewers from all around the world, so bear with me. There are viewers from all around the world that won't particularly have even look at this publication. But obviously, he goes on to say that Brendan Rodgers had to get through the really awkwardness of the Jane Gate. We'll call it Jane Gate, or we'll call it Good Girl Gate. Anyway, once Brendan Rodgers got through that, he brought out a big, huge, it says huge 70-inch touchscreen TV. Huge. How can I, the only thing I'm thinking about is that bloody nightclub back in Belfast. Anyway, so he brought out this touchscreen TV and he ran through a tactical tutorial for the benefit of the small band of written press from the Lodge 8671 Lanark Hall Division. the media sat there tapping their pens, waiting to see, and for an hour and a half or so, Brendan Rodgers replayed clips of various goals scored over the past two seasons under Ange Postecoglou. Another 4 from this season, all scored on his watch, it says. And the similarities are very quite striking. You've got to remember, Brendan has spoken about, people have been saying all season, oh, we don't like Brendan Ball, it's side to side, it's passing, it's this and that. And it's like, go and just listen. And I've said it many times on the channel, just listen to what Brendan Rodgers says at interviews, right? Listen to what he says. His first time here, it was one touch pass. That's how Brendan Rodgers played football. People got on towards the end. It kind of slowed down a bit, but in the main, it was one touch pass, fast attacking football that Brendan Rodgers played the first time here. This time, teams have taken to the low block. It's fucking anti-football. Let's just face facts. It's anti-football. No apologies for swearing, because it is a Celtics fans channel. It's not. It's not TV. It's not TV. You can get away with it on YouTube. Anyway, the fullbacks create an inverted space for the wingers to get down the side, crossing the ball in for the front runners. One attacking the front post, one attacking the back post, and one attacking the middle. The point the manager was attempting to ram home was that despite the common consensus that Celtic's attacking strangely has not changed much since Ange Postecoglou, with his Ange Ball that he took with him to Tottenham. Scurried out the door for the bigger bucks. Wonder who's done that before. Of course, critics of Rodgers and like the media that's sitting there, the ones that were kept behind, the little bad boys, you are beautiful. No, they're not. They're horrible hunts. And Rodgers put together the video evidence to counter his argument. But although no one was really concerned, if the system remains more or less the same, the quality of the individuals who are ultimately determine their success. For example, Postecoglou had Jota, Lila Bada. Rodgers has been struggling with the likes of Lewis Palmer, Mikey Johnson, Kuhn, Yang. Well, Yang's turning the corner. Where the Aussie had Carl Starfelt, Cameron Carter-Vickers minding the shop at the back. Rodgers has been relying on Liam Scales, Rocky Welsh, Gustav Lager-Belke, who was told he was surplus to requirements, and Celtic to go and find his another team. When he did find another team, he was told, oh, you can't go. Sorry, we've got an injury. He must be absolutely right. I feel really sorry for Gustav Lagerberg. I feel gutted for the lad. He comes across as a good lad. He scored us a goal in the Champions League, for goodness sake. Cracking header, back post. We've been crying out for people. Just think how long ago that was. Um, I mean, I think it was one of the first goals this season that we'd scored behind, if I'm not mistaken. Although we've went on a kind of run the past week or so with people deciding, yeah, we finally can score from the head. And it's been fantastic. But when you look at the problems that we did have at the beginning of the season, and people are saying, it's Brendan Ball's pish. You're not saying Brendan Ball's pish after the game against Dundee. Are you going to say, well, it's fucking Dundee's fault? They're pish. Oh, I get it. Anyway, the return of one man might not fix all the problems, but Cameron Carter-Vickers in defence has certainly shored up the defence, and it looks like he will be fit for his first full 90-minute game. His first full 90-minute game this weekend against the wee current Buns. And the evidence the last two matches, you might say, look, there's a common denominator to the way that we've played and a common denominator to the success. And if you look at the success the first time round, the last two seasons before Brendan Rodgers got here, if you look when Cameron Carter-Vickers and Carl Starfelt weren't in the team together, we played crap. Carl Starfelt was a player that got a lot of stick from Celtic fans. And how have we missed him this season? Liam Scales has stood up to the mark, but let's face it, Liam Scales is not as is his direct. I don't know. Is he as good as Carl Starfelt? Is he better? Tell me what you think in the comments. Do you think Liam Scales is better, similar, or worse than Carl Starfelt? Anyway, Carl Starfelt decided to leave because he wanted to follow his woman to Spain. I don't know what to say to that notion because I imagine doing that. I wonder what makes a man do that. Anyway, it's almost an identical story when you look at it. Cameron Carter-Vickers has been out injured a lot this season, and Celtic have been playing absolutely wash. Let's not beat about the bush, as they say. And there was lots of bushes in Belfast. Anyway, Cameron Carter-Vickers said, talking about the fact that he's been back on the pitch, he's been back on the training, he says he believes he's over the worst of it now. He says, I'm disappointed in myself. He says, I've never had so many injuries or been out for so long in my life. He says, I hope I can stay fit and help the team achieve things. I've got 30 minutes at the weekend plus 60 minutes against Dundee, so that helps. I'm hopefully building my way back into it. I'm not sure we've had so many injuries this season. It's the same side, the hamstring, it's the same side that I got the operation on my knee. If there's anything to do with that, it says, but the problem is it's the first time in my career that I've had a season like this where I've been injured for so much of it. But when you're looking to have a long career and you're going to have a season like that now and again. And top players do. Top players do. If you remember, Henrik Larsson broke his ankle in Lyon a long time ago. For the younger generation, there's not that many watch this channel. But yes, we went through that with Henrik Larsson, and Henrik Larsson came back a fantastic player. And if anything, Henrik Larsson got better with Celtic after that horrific injury. Can it be the same for Cameron Carter-Vickers, the little keyhole surgery on his knee, and can he come back better after this season? It's maybe just the teething problems. I mean, I don't know. I'm no medical man, but we think he can. We hope he can anyway. Tell me what you think about Cameron Carter-Vickers being out for most of the season. Has that been one of the major factors to us drawing as many games as what we have? There's something almost symbolic about the fact that Cameron Carter-Vickers, who started the scoring, it goes on to say, yeah, and it was a cracking goal. He comes in the back post and headers it in, and it was a fantastic performance all round by every single Celtic player. It's the first game in a long time where we've scored 3 goals from headers. We've been crying out for people to score from headers, especially from corners where we've been absolutely shambolical all season. Not just this season, to be fair. We've never been the best at corners for a while. But now that we do have the big Adam Ida, they do have Big Adam in-house. And Big Adam and the little change. Now, you've got to remember, Ange Postecoglou would change things around now and again with the wingers. He would bring on a bad and stuff to try and improve the wings. Sadly, we don't have that in Abada anymore. But less we talk about him, the better. And we look at the fact that he's now changed. We now have some height in the box area. And a lad, that's not scared to jump up and head the ball, let's be fair, and get it in the back of the net. That's all that we've been crying out for. What does it do for little Kyogo, for our little Japanese star? It makes sure that he needs to up his game. And does Brendan Rodgers keep him on the bench? I think so. I think his head's down. I think personally, I still think that he mentally is harbouring a thing about his shoulder. I think that that's still affecting his mindset and holding him back a bit slightly. Is it the fact that he's not been getting the service that Adam Ida has been getting? Well, you could also say that. You could say that Kyogo hasn't been getting that service. Why is it taking so long for Celtic to pull out a performance like this? Brendan Rodgers said, look, he said many, many times, go back his interviews the majority of this season, it's not the performance we want. It's at the beginning of the season, it's not the performance we want in the final third. So that's bemoaning the people that were playing in the final third. They're not getting the service to Kyogo. He has tried changing that. He brought in Kuhn. Well, let's face it, he was the best of a bad bunch. If you go by what people are saying about the transfer window of players that were offered to Celtic. But anyway, we move on. We've got just couple of handful of games now to go to the end of the season. Brendan Rodgers is turning the screw. He's turning the screw just not only with the fans and the team, he's turning the screw on the media and trying to change the agenda. And take control of the narrative. And we all know what the narrative is let's face it, they think they're the people. Well, you're not the people, you're tax dodging folk, and you're top of the league with 2 points and 1 goal. Big deal. That's easily overturned. Way easily overturned. And on that note, hope you enjoyed this morning's video. Have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world.